I'm gonna try that. Run another installation lap with Sebastian. I need my second car to at least be able to perform decently well, so I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on here. So, if this doesn't work with Sebastian, then I'm just gonna...
Lap Taniguchi faster? Oh, by not a lot either.
Well, that's over Schmidt right now. They're the only two to set a lap. Henry's on a lap now with plenty of clear road ahead. And nope, still didn't get it. Fuck you, Sebastian.
Just take the 89, honestly.
I know, but you understand why I want this. I was not expecting to be a title contender this season, so I want to get everything I can. Meanwhile, Henry putting out a monster of a lap. Although he lost
lap, Hamilton's looking even faster. Goes to the front, 137 flat.
Lundqvist purple first. Purple middle for Hamilton. Hamilton going quick.
Lundqvist even faster than that. A full second up is Henry Criato there. Hamilton pips you by a tenth.
Fuck.
Lundqvist is going to absolutely monster. Oh, she...
Wow! Wow! What?
She's not going to be able to get out.
No, she's done. I think
she's done.
All right.
Unbelievable.
Henry on the lap.
Try again?
Here's the thing. I'm ahead of my title rival, and I don't give a shit about Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep 2 sets of fresh supers for the race. Yeah,
remember times 2 is the maximum speed.
Well, we're not recording it. Oh, for the race.
Yaya Criff is on a good lap too. What can he do?
To the line! Goes ahead!
Actually out-qualifies Lundqvist!
Lundqvist is going. She's going, although I don't know if she'll make it around in time.
I don't think she's gonna make it.
Minute 30 left. I don't think she's gonna get there, guys.
She might miss this.
Hamilton's
very close. Actually, no, I think she's fine.
Hamilton's going again. He's gonna go for another lap.
Wait, is anybody on a flying lap behind her? Yes.
Sharp is. Here come Sharp is, but Sharp's over here.
2000s.
Hamilton makes it. Hamilton makes it to the line. Lundqvist misses.
Lundqvist will not improve. She starts in 4th at most.
It's Hamilton versus. It's Hamilton. It's Hamilton. Sharp to the line. Yes. But Hamilton's going faster. Hamilton. Here he comes!
Hamilton, he's improving by 1/100th of a second. What can Zach Hamilton do?
Here he comes! To the line! Yes!
1/1000th of a second, Zach Hamilton got pole position.
Wow! That was awesome. I'm not even mad about being third. That's awesome.
Okay, you know what?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the halfway mark of the 2021 World Motorsport Championship, and what a championship it's turned out to be in the first half so far. Lots of drama, lots of action, lots of battles up and down the grid. I'm sure we'll get plenty into it, but at the top we have a 4-way teams fight. The newcomers of the reformed Chariot team are currently sitting in second, in between the Steinman and the Panther. And the Rossini, despite being without a win so far, much to the annoyance of their loyal Tifosi, are still in it, having the best second driver in Will Jolie behind Zach Hamilton, whereas Steinman, Chariot Lions, and Panther, their second drivers are underperforming so far. Lots of other drivers also underperforming with a fairly dominant top 8. But I'm sure we'll get into that as we get into the grid, where we see on pole position, it is Zach Hamilton in the crazy qualifying of yesterday. Guilford qualifying, always a treat, and it delivered. Zach Hamilton pipping Zoe Sharp by 4,000ths, 1/250th of a second to second on the grid for her.
And hello, everybody. I am Johan, joining Ginger in this broadcast today. I am it's so delightful to be back at Guilford again with the crowds after over a year. isolated from the loyal fans that make motorsport what it is, with the pandemic and lockdown being what it is. But we're back here at Guilford for what should be another classic. And on the second row, it is Henry Creato. He is the patron saint of Brazil at this point. He had 2 shock victories earlier in the season, including his massive undercut victory at Tondela, which was a delight to see. And he finds himself only 1 point behind Siri Lundqvist in the title, and with an outside shot at winning it. And he starts third, which is a solid position for him. And 2 is outside. In 4th place, the Rossini American who defeated the legendary Siri Lundqvist in her winning streak, Will Jolie.
On row 3, we have 2 of the same. It's 2 Steinmans. Surprisingly enough, it's the consistently not brilliant Jayakriv yet to break a podium, starting about 30th of the second ahead of Siri Lundqvist, championship leader, looking for 4 on the bounce, but put herself in a difficult situation to do so today.
And the 4th row is a bit of an intriguing one who is very disappointed to be qualifying this low. Another one quite happy. It's Masahiko Tanakuchi, the number 2 driver for Panther. He's been very inconsistent. He's fresh off of a pretty strong result, though, at Cape Town back in South Africa, where he finished 4th. So he's going to hope to build on that, but he's just not used to this car. It doesn't really suit his driving style. Better suited to Zoe Sharp, of course, her being embedded in the team for the last 8 seasons at this point. And 2 is outside. In 8th, the German Wolfgang Schmidt, who we are here, according to our insider, Marvin Bumble, Wolfgang Schmidt is furious at Van Dort, who are spinning the wheels of futility, going absolutely nowhere. They only have 15 points this season, all of which are his, and if they can't make immediate progress this season, he might walk out on them to end his contract. But starting 8th is a good position for him.
Starting on row 5, we have 2 drivers with 2 very interesting situations. It's Sebastian Guyot, the number 2 Chariot Shadow Lion car, ahead of Nikolai Surikov in the Windsor, who's had some very inconsistent finishes so far. His future never quite certain, a bit of a wild side as we all fully know, but he starts 10th, last of those making it into Q3.
And the strategic front row, as it is oftentimes called in the World Motorsport Championship, more so now these days with interesting tires where you can attack, but they will drop off a lot later. And in 11th place, it is Jens Bergman, the lead driver of Catano for several years, but they've obviously fallen on hard times this season. Points are very difficult to come by, and he's pretty frustrated with the lack of progress. But joining him is his own teammate, a bright face of the future, fresh out of Asia Pacific Super Cup. It is Ebony Tyler, and she will be eager to one-up her experienced teammate today. Starting on a faster tire will give her a good shot at that.
On row 7, we have one of the established two established veterans in 2 tenuous positions. Bashir, now at Velan, formerly of Asia, but Asia, similarly to Velan, are struggling for points, with Maxat Harbuzi in 14th, right where he finished last race, his highest finish of the season, classified as 21st in the championship. Maybe he can improve on that today, starting behind Bashir, aforementioned, in the also struggling Velan. 13th is more than acceptable, but he needs to match his 10th place finishes if he wants to do anything with it.
And we have in row 8, 15th and 16th, both of these drivers, it's fair to say, are really disappointed. Sanjay Modi, the teammate to Wolfgang Schmidt at Van Dort, he's been here for several years, but with only 1 points finish at Beijing and some pretty silly accidents, if I do say so myself, in the last few races. 19th at Cape Town. Things have just been going wrong for him, and he just hasn't been contributing points. And I know they're hard to come by, but it's just been a really difficult season for him. And to his outside, in 16th, probably one of the most controversial women in the field, or drivers in the field, it must be said, the French-Canadian Claire Talley, Fortune's favorite, a former endurance racing superstar who's just, I gotta say, her transition to the World Motorsport Championship has just been a disaster. She did finish 9th at Cape Town, but she only has 5 points to her name, as opposed to Surikov, who has over 35. And given that she blocked Rick DeGraaf's signing, he's been farmed out over to IndyCar. There's a lot of people calling for her firing over this season with how poorly she's performed, but she brings the bacon, and she starts 16th.
On row 17, we have the returning Chica Balcazar, who missed Cape Town for Winston Margate taking her place. She starts 17th, which is not that good for her. She has finished below 17th only once. Hopefully she'll make up some places, and hopefully she'll stay ahead of Aki Lipponen, 18th in the championship, and wouldn't you know it, he had an impressive race at Cape Town, but sadly only came 11th, and before that didn't finish inside the top 17. So he'll need to make up places as well if he wants to get his first points on the board for Velan.
And row 10, not row 17. We have some... Our Twitter folks are making mention of the row 17 comment there, but row 10, 19th and 20th, it is Zoya Udris, the lead driver for Rizzato Corsa. She is furious at how far off a cliff the Rizzato Corsa team have fallen. Their car is just completely undrivable with its double front wing concept proving to be a complete mistake. And Rizzato are looking at a very uncertain future with their car being so slow they risk dropping down to the Asia Pacific Super Cup. So they will need miracles to be able to survive. And joining her is Asia road driver Singo Jono Hamrun. Not as fast as Harbuzi, but he's consistent, and Asia Road have a better finish than their two rivals, so he's pretty safe in 20th.
In row 11, we have two usual suspects, and it is actually the two drivers who are last in the WMC. Esteban Ribeiro in last with the highest finish of only 19th, and Flores has only done one position better. P18 at Japan was her highest finish. Let's see if they can do anything today.
And the back row of the grid, this is the last place you want to be. And oh boy, where did everything go so wrong for this woman? Molly Fox, one of the brightest prospects of APS a few years ago. She's been with Thornton, and Thornton are kind of in the middle of nowhere now. The future is secure for the coming seasons, but it's just been difficult to extract performance when they have rivals with better facilities. And with only 1 point, Fox has to contend for maybe getting out of Q2 every so often. So it's not looking great for Molly Fox in 23rd. And in dead last, the worst position is pay driver from Germany of the McNeil team, Claudia Dreyfus. Really spun her tires and locked up at Q3. Didn't feel happy in her car, but she'll have to start last and hope that carnage happens in front of her, as it sometimes does here in Guilford. But with all of that out of the way, it is time to get to the start of this, what should be a phenomenal classic race here at Guilford. We have over 50 million concurrent viewers. It's going to be a classic here. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. And Hamilton, phenomenal for the Australian Panther driver, Zoe Sharp's a great lead into turn 1. It's a pretty clean getaway for the moment, but we have trouble at the back as both Thornton drivers have spun. That is a disaster for Balcazar and Fox, who are 22nd and 23rd, and they take Esteban Ribeiro with them. But meanwhile, Sharp gets into the lead, and look at that. Will Jolie is trying to have a run on the inside, and Zach Hamilton as well. It is a Rossini 2-3. That will be delightful for the Tifosi as Rossini don't have a win. Oh, big move by Will Jolie. Tried to get a run, couldn't do it as Henry Criado lost some positions. Taniguchi, Tyler, other guys that made good starts. Surikov lost quite a bit of time. Modi also dropping down. Schmidt losing 3 positions. That is a bad start for them. And Jens Bergman on the prime tires, a middle compound as we like to call them, in P9. That is a great start for the lead Kitano man. But it is Zoe Sharp, Zach Hamilton, Will Jolie, Henry Creato, and Julian Jaekrev to end the first lap.
Yep, it was a dream getaway for the Aussie who is back here in the former colony, but not for Hamilton, the British man, who will have the backing not only of the British crowd, but of course with the Tifosi as well. Not a good start for him. Jolie goes
not looking
side
good.
by side, but can't
Jolie
make it
wanted to have a run, and here comes Criado. He's gonna try and take advantage of the squabbling here, but we know that Agostini will stamp his authority and refuse to allow any fighting, especially this early. It's only lap 2, but Jolie won't budge. He wants to have a run still.
Meanwhile, we see Taniguchi sandwich.
And in fact, Lundqvist, Lundqvist dropped a position and can't get past Taniguchi, who's actually lost the DRS of Criado, who himself just got passed by Yaikrif, so it's a really bad start. Scintillating Siri, who isn't very scintillating right now. Here comes Will again.
I think once again we're seeing the top 8 fold out early. It'll be scraps for the rest of the field here, as Tyler a second and a half off Lundqvist.
Oh yeah, we were just noticing that Jens Bergman was able to fire those middle compound tires up really fast, got up to 9th, but Ebony Tyler managed to stay patient and get past him and Wolfgang Schmidt to get P9. And look at that, the move almost happened for a 4th time. Will Jolie and Zach Hamilton refusing to stop in their fighting. The ceasefire will not happen here, as they are both pressuring Zoe Sharp, who remains calm in the lead.
Who knew that Rossini had a multi-21?
It could be that way, but looks like finally, looked like Jolie backed off to give Hamilton a shot, passing Zoe Sharp, but Sharp covered the inside line. Didn't quite work up, as we're hearing towards the back. Kiyuhisa Bashir just smoked his tires, and it's a bad news for him because he's going to lose the DRS of Maksar Arbuzi. As, trouble near the back, we are hearing from our pit reporter, Johnny Hubris. Lucia Flores has retired from the race. Trouble!
Oh, they both forced each other off!
Oh, that was...
Yaikrif.
Yaikrif might have forced Criado off. The stewards will have to be looking at that. That brazen overtaking attempt by Julian Yaikrif might not have worked, and that's going to be bad news for Henry Criado, who's down in 7th, and in the middle of all that, Siri Lundqvist managed to clear Gio for 5th place.
And a couple of vivid expressions there from Olivier Panis in the Chariot Lions garage. He is not happy at Yaikrif, but thankfully Criado has the place, as the Lundqvist gets the place over Taniguchi, with a 3.5 second gap to the Rossini.
Loss of time. And speaking of that, of the loss of gap, we've got multiple mistakes. Zach Hamilton just spun. And
oh my word,
that Criado made a mistake as well.
As Hamilton is 6th now because of that.
That was, oh my goodness me, these tires are really inconsistent these days. It's hard to attack as much as you do because you might overheat them and then you lose your confidence, you lose the temperature, they start to spin, and then into that quick left-right hand sequence, you spin it and you're going to lose the grip into turn 1. But it's phenomenal news for Zoe Sharp and Will Jolie, who are now 4 seconds clear of this massive train held by Siri Lundqvist.
I mean, as Johan mentioned, there are some question marks over these Piparellis as to whether we should move to some Badiers or maybe some Michelanis, but these are the tyres we've got, so these are the tyres we have to use.
Indeed, and it's, oh my goodness me. I just heard over the radio from Zach Hamilton, I'm useless. That is not the sort of word we want to hear from the lead Rossini driver. No one is useless, but he was in pole position and he's now down to 7th place due to one simple mistake after fighting for the lead. So I can understand some of that heat of the moment frustration, but look at that move around the outside and his teammate Henry Criado trying to fight still.
It's further back. I think these middle compound softs are coming into it. Arbuzi lost out to Bashir and Mooney.
What was this? A 3-wide move? Criado tried to make a move. Brilliant stuff.
A Surikov in. I think he started on scrubbed set, so it's not too surprising.
Yeah, he kind of had to drop off of that.
Back.
He had to bail out of that tire, but there's Criado and Dio both trying to tag team Taniguchi in that situation there, as we just heard from Panis again. Easy, calm down, we need the points, he says. And he does, because Sharp is now, I would say, 6.5 seconds clear. This is a fantastic start for her, and she really is pulling away.
6.5 clear of Criato, indeed, as that gap might fall with Will Jolie fighting. Puts a wing down but can't get it to stick.
Meanwhile, further back, we are noticing that Julian Yakov's tires, he might have used a couple extra sets in qualifying because he is losing time. In fact, he's bleeding time. He is down to 9th place. Ebony Tyler has joined this fight for 5th. Where did she come from?
Well, her fresh tires will give her that little bit extra, as I think they're starting to hit a bit of a ramp, not necessarily cliff, but a bit of a ramp.
A ramp up to the cliff, at least, as Criato just passed Lundqvist, indeed.
Criato won't care as he's into the podium positions. Ebony Tyler won't care as she's now 6th. She gets the slipstream and gets it done.
And she's bringing with her her teammate of Jens Bergman, whose middle compound tires are better than hers. He moves into 8th place. This is a great start for Catano. Can they maintain it after the pit cycle is coming in? Remember, we are reaching the beginning of the pit cycle. Laps 11 to 13 is what people really said was going to happen. As there's Ebony Tyler trying to get Zach Hamilton in, but couldn't do it now. As we're hearing more radio messages from Olivier Panis, do we go plan Delta from Sebastian Guillot?
Side by side for the lead. Side by side.
Quite a few people in the pit lane.
Yes, quite a few. Yakovlev, Taniguchi, and Lundqvist stacked. Oh my goodness.
What a close release there, and Lundqvist wins out in that battle, but she loses time to Taniguchi and Guillot, who's trying to switch those tires.
Someone's got to be punished, surely. You can't be 3 wide in the pit lane. 2 wide is bad enough.
Indeed. And it's a difficult situation when you're fighting so hard that you're not necessarily looking the other way. But look at the power, the overspeed from the curve system that Sebastian Guillot just enjoyed on championship leader Siri Lundqvist. Scintillating Siri not being so scintillating this season, as Sharp, after leading the entire first stint, has come in. That will leave Will Jolie vulnerable to an undercut, or he's trying to overcut the situation and go for a one-stop or go double middle compound to the end, but not for long, as there goes Henry Criato past her for the lead.
As we're hearing a plan B change for Criato, wanting to do something different from Guillot. Probably mediums back onto supers to the end, I would imagine, as the Chariot Shadow Lions gets their pit crew out well in time. Let's see if Jolie reacts, if Bergman reacts, if Tyler reacts.
And they're both in, Criato and Jolie, the Qatar. And it's going to be hard tires for Henry Criato. Very interesting decision.
So they do go with plan B, as Criato has actually overcut Lundqvist and Guillot and doesn't pass Balcazar for 13th, surprisingly.
Couldn't quite do it. That was a good overcut maneuver, and I gotta say, it's a brave gamble of Yakovlev and Taniguchi to go for another set of soft compound tires with how few sets you're allowed to use across the given weekend. So this may come back to bite them. They want to get that track position, but they're going to be eaten alive by the halfway point of this race, as we're hearing Claudia Dreyfus ducks out of the way of that aggressive fight that Henry Criato leads.
Tyler is now the last one on super soft to be out there. The rest of the field is on soft towards pit.
Meanwhile, there is Claire Talley finally getting up to Ebony Tyler. That's how much time she's losing on the tires. As Velon are looking pretty consistent so far, with Bashir in 4th and Lippin in 6th. But look at that move around the outside by Sebastian Guillot, trying to get Esteban Ribeiro. Nothing doing, though, because that's going to allow Siri Lundqvist to try and split him through the middle, and it's worked! Scintillating Siri, what do we love? That's what we love to see from the reigning 4-time champion.
Well, that's a champion's move, that, to bomb it around the outside and switch it back to the inside with such confidence, as we're seeing that Criato is now fighting Lundqvist, and Yakovlev, with the fastest lap, is ahead of Guillot. This is all 11, 12, 13, 14. Bergman leads Talley, and Bashir is temporarily in 3rd.
Bashir up to 3rd, and Ebony Tyler's tires have fallen off to an absolutely insane degree. This is now lap 16 on her original tires. She better hope for a safety car because those tires are destroyed. Sanjay Modi just got past, and Zoe Sharp, who pit, might be on her way to catching Tyler. And in fact, all the fighting between Criado and Lundqvist, that's what Sharp loves to see because she has a pretty clear margin over this over this traffic, as it were, that Criado and Lundqvist are trying to clear.
As Lundqvist clears Criado, and Yayakrif looks to do the same. Meanwhile, Sharp clears Tyler and gets further away from this hunt pack. As we see Tyler in at last.
Finally done it. Will they be going for the one stop? No, they are not. It's going to be middle compounds to the end. Criado making a huge move into 10th place.
Whoa, this is a unexpected little pack here. I think it goes from Lippinen and all the way down, probably, I would say, to Zach Hamilton in 15th.
I think it's, if we can cut away to Siri Lundqvist, who just managed to higher lap traffic, and Henry Criado just utter disaster. He just lost a ton of time to Lundqvist, who's now well clear of this train, into 6th, trying to catch up to Zoe Sharp, who is a further 3 seconds up the road. Remember, those guys pretty much equal on points, and whoever has the better race execution will end up winning out in this title fight. But, geez, the cars are so close to one another, it's hard to keep track of all of it.
Indeed it is, although where they aren't close is at the front, where Sharp has to close 2 seconds on Tally and then 4 seconds on Bergman, who is still out there, still looking good for pace.
Meanwhile, there is Bergman and Tally. Indeed, they're looking pretty good, as Sharp is now clear of both Modi and Bashir. Lundqvist just got Bashir, as we were saying, as there is Sinang Jano Hamrun coming into the pit lane. Lundqvist has still more traffic, though, which is not going to help her, as she will have to burn up the tires, even though she is gaining time, technically. Meanwhile, we just heard that Surkov has just burned out all of his tires. He's going to be in 23rd. This race is going absolutely nowhere for him.
Meanwhile, I know we missed it, but Will Jolie is clear of Criado on the hards, as we cut out in to see Sharp overtake Tally, as behind Guyot and Hamilton looking to overtake Lippinen as they get the job done. Yayakrif in 9th in between the Chariot Shadow Lions.
And Criado is starting to come back into play a little bit. He's still right there with Jolie and the others, and is now just passed for P7. So that's a good move there. It's all about the traffic management in the middle stint. As Sharp now only 2 seconds down on Bergman, getting closer to the lead that she sacrificed 10 laps ago.
We're staying in the midfield battle here, looking at Guyot and Hamilton. It does have implications for the championship with Yayakrif involved. Hamilton gets past Guyot. Meanwhile, Sharp's closed the distance. Lundqvist trying to close the distance on Sharp. Bergman using some curves. Will he come in, or will Bergman be overtaken by Sharp? Let's have a look.
Not going to happen this lap.
Sharp looking for it. And the pace difference.
But Bergman's holding off the line as Bashir ducks into the pit lane. Sharp made a move around. It's good news for Sharp, but she does have Siri Lundqvist right behind her. We're going to have a straight fight for the lead as we have a trouble into turn 3. Sanjay Modi has just crashed and barreled the Van Dort hard into the wall. Oh, that is not a good sight. Man, just completely mangled. The entire left side of the car is destroyed, and devastating news for Sanjay Modi.
Devastation indeed, as Van Dort always looking for the points where they can score them, but that's one car out, one car in the points.
Meanwhile, Lundqvist just cleared Bergman. Only 2 seconds between her and Sharp. Now nobody's in between them. But I think that terrible start that Lundqvist had in the first stint is costing her, because Sharp is enjoying the lead for the moment. I'll tell you what else. Who else is feeling the pain right now. It's Julian Jaikriff just got passed by Sebastian Gio. His soft tires are really falling off a lot, and he's down to 9th. But trouble towards P7. Claire Talley's gone off the road and has run wide. She just sacrificed 7th. Down to 9th she goes.
As Schmidt on fresh tires versus Talley on warm. Schmidt harassing her as we cut away there. Meanwhile, Jolie harassing Bergman in a similar situation.
Jolie's been pretty consistent, but I just think she doesn't quite have the high-end pace. With how the Rossinis have developed over the last few seasons, they're just losing time on the straights now, curiously enough, as we're just seeing a gaggle of cars in the pit lane. Claire Talley, Molly Fox, Esteban Ribeiro, and that was quite a bit. Meanwhile, Tanakuchi has just undercut Julian Jaikriff 16th. Could Jaikriff get a run on the inside?
Well,
I don't think it's going to happen yet.
Hit again. I think
they tried to make that 3 wide work. It wasn't quite enough, though.
Sounds like the tyre wear was, I think the word to use is excessive, because they've come in again and battling for now what is 14th, 15th.
I think that undercut on the middle tire, though, was worth it. Meanwhile, that was an absolutely huge closing of speed on Zach Hamilton with Jens Bergman, whose tires are nearly finished. I'm amazed he's managed to make these tires last this long. 24 laps, usually they only last around 20 to 22. He's doing a great job making them last, and he's indeed come in at the end of lap 24. What tire will he be on?
Nego super.
As Lundqvist now side by side for the lead. Sharp holds the inside, though. Doesn't look like it's going to happen quite.
Bergman going super comes out 9th. 10 and 11 for Asia Road as it stands. Meanwhile, at the front, we still see Lundqvist clawing it back at Sharp. It's a nice,
this is exciting stuff.
It's a great day. It's a nice sunny day, and it's a great day for racing. As we see Bashir at some point overtook Harbuzi and Hamron and is now in 10th.
An interesting battle for 3 wide points. Jaikriff obviously tires, but in the middle of that, Hamron and Harbuzi started racing, and Hamron did not like that over the team radio. He was quite frustrated by it, as Harbuzi, sorry, but Hamron made the move, and he's now up into 12th, and he's tied for Asia Road's best finish of the season, so they're looking pretty good as it stands. Meanwhile, Lundqvist has finally retaken the lead after what was a really poor start. Could be on for 4 in a row. I'm not sure that a streak is going to develop for her, though. Meanwhile, Sharp is trying to keep up with her, as Zach Hamilton forced to come in again for another set of supers. He's doing a 3-stop. That is an interesting gamble when the softs were working fine.
Softs were working fine, but these teams have more data than we have, so if that's the call they're going for, not that we agree with it, but...
And I'm hearing from Craig Tavitz, another one of our pit lane reporters, that Zach Hamilton called for this himself. I mean, he has been pretty coy on the radio since that useless comment. Not something we ever want to hear from a driver, especially when they're racing, but he wants to just go fast if he can, and I don't blame him. If you can just go fast, who knows what might happen later in the race. Have fast tires, the time lost in the pit lane be damned. And it's working out for him so far. He's currently P7 after coming out, so we'll see how much pace he has over Lundqvist and Sharp, both of whom are still on what are now pretty used soft tires. And Jolie, who's his teammate in 3rd.
Well, they're setting 142s thereabout. Hamilton 138.5, 3.5 seconds.
And the crowd is going wild over it. They really loved that. The question is, though, if this is an extra pit stop over the rest of them, he might have to gain that time back. And it's just a tough situation because there's Wolfgang Schmidt trying to clear. It's going to happen at some point, but Schmidt's blocking the inside line, making it a little bit harder for Hamilton. But there he is. He's finally going to make the move around the outside. And otherwise, give a call to Henry Criado. He is really clawing the time back, especially on Lundqvist and Sharp, whose tires popping off. And Criado, consistent so far for the Lion Peugeot, is off the road. Cyril spun off the road. Unbelievable. Again. This is not looking good for the 3-time winner. Having gone back to back to back, she had a bad start, and now she spins while defending from Zoe Sharp, and that will change the championship situation completely. Now Sharp has the championship lead, with Criado moving into second. If there was any indication that Lundqvist is under pressure, that would be it.
Well, it's a high-pressure race, it's a high-pressure venue, it's a high-pressure occasion, and maybe it was, maybe it's getting too much for Lundqvist. Winning any race is hard alone, let alone trying to win 4 in a row.
Absolutely, and 5 titles in a row. There's Will Jolie, who defeated her famously back in 2019. Or was it? No, 2020, sorry. And he looks like he wants to pull off more heroics. He's going to try and make a move on the inside of Zoe Sharp, and he's going to take advantage. Will Jolie into the lead. The crowd, we had just heard, has been going wild over Zach Hamilton's fast pace, going for the extra pit stop in Lundqvist's spin. He is now 9 seconds clear, and look who's that with the hard tire. It's Henry Criado in the DRS range.
Well, Criado is on plan B, and he will have pace at the end, probably going for supers. He's probably got about 12 laps in this, and then a
super one at the end. And look at that. Zoe Sharp has bailed out. She is not wasting another second on those tires, which are really dead. And Sharp's going for the 3-stop. She wants to cover off Zach Hamilton.
Lundqvist comes in as well, also going for a 3-stop as they both come out in... Oh, no, Lundqvist does not come out in clear air. Sharp does in P8 behind Schmidt, who's soon to pass.
I think a lot of people want to do the 3-stop now that Zach Hamilton forced their hand, but it's a question of what does Will Jolie do, because he now has a 10-second advantage over his own teammate. But trouble, as we were mentioning, and he has one as well, and that promotes Henry Criado to the lead and Hamilton into second. Unbelievable. From being useless to second place, Zach Hamilton has a shot at winning here.
Well, as it stands, that 7-second gap is for the race lead. Criado and Hamilton still have a stop to go. We see Yaya Krith in and is going to come out in P15.
I would say 15, yeah. It's a big loss of time. And Molly Fox almost got him, but not quite enough. There have been talks, of course, to lower the pit lane speed of this track to create more strategic variance. Those talks are still only in the early stages, so it hasn't quite come to anything yet. There's Lundqvist getting past Ebony Tyler with ease into 11th, but she is well behind Taniguchi and Sharp.
Well, Lundqvist setting 2 purples. Needs to pass Bashir to set a 3rd purple as she does. And will she set a 3rd purple?
No, as there's Wolfgang Schmidt going to the end of the race on a set of... Oh, and a lockup trying to get past Claire Talley. That's some frustration kicking in for the championship leader. Meanwhile, Bashir behind her has gone wide on those tires, which seemingly have cooled down after being in so much clear air for so long. There wasn't much that he could do, as there's Gio getting passed by Zoe Sharp. Meanwhile, Criado now only 3 seconds up on Hamilton. It might come down to Zach Hamilton and Henry Criado for this win. I'm sure the local crowd would love to see Zach Hamilton leading, but his tires are really beginning to hit that ramp, as you say, Ginger. I'm not sure he'll be able to make this move done very easily.
Well, I'm focused now on this battle at the front. This looks like it could be for the win. And you've got the doubly popular Zach Hamilton uniting the Tifosi and the loyal British fans. As here he comes into the final chicane.
Didn't have a run. Criado blocking the inside, but it's going to be... Criado using curves to defend this. How is he able to do that?
Switch back, and he gets his place solidified through turn 3 as Jolie is in.
Will Jolie go? Oh, man. That spin forced her to come in a lap earlier than she was intending to. My bad. My apologies. He was trying to save a pit stop over his teammate, and now is using the soft tires with 1 lap too much. Going 17 laps on a set of soft tires, almost impossible in this day and age.
Hey, Johan, Claire Talley is 7th.
Currently P7, yeah, a very strong run by Fortune's favorite, as they used to call it. This could be her best result of the season if she can manage it. I mean, she would be saving a pit stop over the others, so that is what is helping her maintain this position for the moment. As there's Jens Bergman also in 5th. He is having a great run right now.
Gap starting to fan out for the top 4, but closing in for the rest of the point scorers here, as it seems, as Will Jolie now takes his turn setting purple laps.
Setting purple laps, yeah. But meanwhile, Zoe Sharp is gaining a second a lap on Hamilton. Enough, though, with Hamilton having his own undercut that worked really well. I mean, he was a little bit slow in the middle stint, but it may have been all to plan. As what a move by Jens Bergman, ducking out of the way of Claire Talley and Will Jolie, who has just made a move for 6th and now 5th over Taniguchi, whose middle compound tires are not working in this late stint.
Bergman goes soft with 15 to go, comes out 16th.
I think Bergman, he couldn't quite make the supers work. That's a really unfortunate situation for him. I think he was expecting more out of that. As meanwhile, Criado managing to keep the pace now over Zach Hamilton, whose tires are really struggling, and it's just not working out.
Well, it's only a 4-second gap, and all it takes is one mistake. We've seen plenty of them at the front here, as we're hearing the call is coming in for Criato for his final time.
Well, what will Criado do? Can he stretch these tires long enough and get the undercut on Zach Hamilton? But look at that! Their master plan has been foiled. Zach Hamilton in at the same time.
They even had pretty much the same amount of pit stop time, as they seem to come in and out in sync.
Oh, but those cold tires have not worked. Jolie just passed him.
4 laps, but they've warmed the tyres up as Will Jolie with a purple sector 1.
Yeah, Jolie is still feeling pretty happy with the tires that he's on, and he is not too far away from Zach Hamilton. I think both of those guys are getting more competitive with each race, as we've seen. I mean, they haven't had a win yet, but they are clearly the most consistent driver pairing of the top 4 teams. It's why they're in the fight for the championship. But Henry Criado, now that his tires have switched on, has said absolutely no way. It's time for me to stop my authority, and it's now 4th place for the Brazilian. Meanwhile, Sharp and Lundqvist yet to stop.
Taniguchi, the second Panther, comes out 15th. I think he ran out of supers, hence why he's gone soft.
Man, that is a devastatingly bad situation for Taniguchi to be in. He overheated those super tires so early that he was forced to use another soft tire, and it just hasn't worked out for him. He's going to be well behind everybody else. I'm not even sure he'll get points, because Claire Talley and Bashir, who's now in the points as well, could be in for a really good points haul here. However, if I were Claire Talley, I'd come into the pits as soon as I can. I know Windsor are pretty famously shy when it comes to the soft compound, because it overheats so much. They want to be able to bank safe points and just spring surprises. It's not working out very much, though, as here we are hearing in the pit lane is Zoe Sharp and Siri Lundqvist at the same time.
And Will Jolie.
So Jolie has bailed out of her 3-stop plan. Everybody's doing a 3-stop except for the two chariot Peugeots of Guillot and Criado, 2nd and 5th right now. Criado, though, is losing time to Zach Hamilton, and Sharp has 11 seconds to get Zach Hamilton for what looks like a big shot at victory. Hamilton versus Sharp, youth versus experience. Who is it going to be?
Well, I think the majority of the crowd will want the current leader, Zach Hamilton. Although...
And of course, we are hearing from Ricky Adami and Push Now Push. And Hamilton said, "I am pushing, shut the F up." Oh my goodness, he is fired up now that he's got the home crowd behind him with a chance to deliver Rossini's first victory, and the first victory for a Rossini driver from the UK since 1999. This would be a historic moment for them as goes one of the chariots. Sebastian Gio spun from 5th place, and that's given Siri Lundqvist P5. And as we see a little bit of a championship update, it will be Henry Creed if he can defend against Zoe. I'm not sure that he can, but that would be something, wouldn't it?
It would, as we have 7 of the top 8 in the top. Well, 7 of the top 7 as it stands. Taniguchi a bit behind, but has a chance to rectify it with the improved car. Claire Talley definitely hitting a bit of a cliff, is 2.5 seconds slower than the competition.
If I was Claire Talley now, I'd go for whatever qualifying tire you have left. It's the best tire on the track right now, and indeed, she's coming into the pits. She was furious, throwing French expletives. I need these points. And she comes in, puts in another set of prime tires. That's going to ruin Windsor's shot at points. Oh no, that is not what they were looking for. Well, guess who's in 11th? Maksat Arbuzi, defending against Ebony Tyler, could be giving Asia Road a new best finish.
Unfortunately, she is about 18 seconds behind either way, so that's unlikely to be made up.
Yeah, it's just a tough one.
Some swaps happening for Simon. I think it was a racing swap. No team orders come through, but Lundqvist has passed the Iacra.
Just passed cleanly, and that gives her a better shot in the championship. It's 4th place. I think she's just too far behind to make a podium work, though, because we are converging on 5 laps to go, and I'm afraid Zoe Sharp's tires haven't made any headway on Zach Hamilton at all. That is a disaster. Well, not a disaster, really, but Sharp was enjoying such a strong lead in the first stint, and it's not worked. Hamilton forced everyone's hand, and he has a shot at delivering Rossini's first victory of the season. And, of course, we got to remember, he had that DNF at Cape Town. He was just really frustrated after that, and perhaps fuels that useless comment from the start of the race. But I'm sure he's not feeling useless now because he's in the lead with 5 seconds over Creato.
Well, I think he's giving it everything he got for a large swathe of fans that he has in attendance. Creato needs either a big mistake or more than a second per lap, as Zoya Udris and a Rosato is the one to make a mistake instead.
Such a shame there for Harbuzi, who just came in. They just sacrificed a shot at the best season for Asia Road. Those tires just couldn't last, and it just forces them to pit. But I'll tell you who could be on for maybe 13th or 12th is Molly Fox, who's trying to make a run in Kiwisa Bashir. Trying to get a run, nothing doing, though, as Will Jolie passes Julian Yaikrif. Bit of a nightmare race for Steinman. They don't look like they'll be on the podium at all. But I'll tell you whose tires have just fallen off. It's Zach Hamilton. He just lost a second a lap on Henry Creato.
Well, I think he's finally relaxing a little bit, perhaps, as he knows that he just needs to give it that last little bit to get it over the line. He doesn't need to go full pelt here, crucially.
I would hope he doesn't need to, because this would be a special win for him. And Zoe Sharp getting on the podium, she will be really frustrated because this win was hers for the taking, and it just hasn't really eventuated. That brilliant start was, well, not for nothing, but it's not worth much, as there's Taniguchi passing Jens Bergman for P9. That will be his last finishing position, though, I think. With Wolfgang Schmidt taking P8 would be a delightful finish for him, giving Van Dort some much-needed points.
Meanwhile, Claire Talley in 11th will be nothing short of disappointing for her. She had the pace, she had the racecraft, but I think the strategy just was a bit off to run to the final lap here with a 5-second gap. Hamilton to Creato. Creato gave everything he can.
He gave it everything he could, but that lap was an anomaly. Hamilton was impervious all race. He may have made a mistake early on, but he has recovered fantastically well from that as the crowd rise for him. This is a big moment in British motorsport. the Italians and the British coming together for the first time in over 2 decades, and it's going to yield success for the first time this season. Ladies and gentlemen, around the final turn, Zach Hamilton wins the British Grand Prix by 6 seconds over Henry Creato, who takes second, and the championship lead for Shadow Lion Peugeot Racing. 6 years of building have led Shadow Lion to this situation. Phenomenal situation for both of those drivers. Hamilton taking the first win, Creato in second, and Zoe Sharp in third. Very frustrated. A lot of questions will be asked in the press conference today when she's in third, but she is resolute, silent. That win could have been hers, and she didn't deliver.
As we see Bergman take the final point slot for now, we will obviously get the car check over and done with shortly.
And side by side for 19th. That's what, even if it's in the middle of nowhere, fighting to the line is what you love there. Zoya Udris managed to beat Harbuzi out, and Balcazar actually got Bashir for 15th, all the same. So that was pretty fun.
Indeed it was, as we will get the scrutineering reports. What a race. Very chaotic, but expectedly so. Although, then again, the Piparelli tyres were unexpectedly short for the stints, I think.
They were really short indeed. I would say they were definitely
to
short.
make it work.
Well, I mean, it still gave us a reasonably interesting race, though, with all the battling. There was so much traffic management midway through. These guys were fighting really hard. I enjoyed watching. Like, Guilford puts on a really good track product, and I think it succeeded today again. And I hope that it can succeed for years and years to come, because that was special. And look at Zach Hamilton waving the Italian and British flags together for his first victory with Scuderia Rossini, and gives him a hope of recovering a vague chance at a world championship. It's not looked great for him, and the scrutineering is confirmed. Zach Hamilton, Creato second, and Sharp third. And yeah, that is quite a solemn-looking Zoe Sharp there. She really wanted more than that, but she'll have to rest and recuperate for the second half of the season. As we take a look at the championship situation as a result of this, Henry Creato takes the lead over Zoe Sharp, and Siri Lundqvist, after just taking the lead, drops back down to third after a race filled with mistakes, settling only for fourth.
Indeed, we see Olivier Panis on his assistant telling him as such. Is very happy with Creato. Guyot, unfortunately, letting the side down a little bit, but not as bad as Tanakuchi, who is even worse than Guyot, and Guyot's been not that impressive. But as we look at the arguably more tight, more important constructors, let's have a look and see what we see. As
man, this is close. Wow.
Rossini were 26 points behind before
they
this.
They gained 15.
And now it's Panther who are 26 behind, but still within reach.
Yeah. Zoe Sharp, we know how talented she is, and she is wrangling a thing that is, I mean, it is difficult to drive. Today it was quite enjoyable, at least in the first half of the stint, but she dropped off a cliff late and it just didn't work out. But she is keeping herself in the hunt with all this consistency. And that's what we like to see. Consistent race execution all day long. And that's what's making a title fight as close as this between so many teams, not seen since 2012. That's what makes this so entertaining to watch. And there's a lot more racing to be had between these four teams in the second half of the season. But to recap the remaining teams, Windsor's 5th, Van Dort's 6th, getting a big points haul over Catano for 6th in the championship. Velan and Thornton, no changes there. No changes for Asia Road, McNeil, or Rizzato, all maintaining the places they were in before.
Well, that was certainly certainly one of the races of the season so far. chaotic as always, as this season has been from start to finish. After a brief interim, we are at the Temple of Speed, the other circuit to be on every World Motorsport Championship calendar. It's Milan, it's Tifosi time.
Rossini country and slipstreaming country. We cannot wait to see what special wingless packages these teams bring out once a year, every year for this one track. It's the most prestigious race in the world, most watched race in the world, and I cannot wait to see what sort of beautiful slipstreaming fights we will be seeing there, especially with a field as competitive as this. But for today, this will wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoy this brief summer break. I have been Johan.
I've been Ginger, and this has been...
This is a Wolf Motorsports broadcast signing off. Thank you guys once again.